Any discussion in the second round? Any discussion in the second round? This is the vote to send 2500910.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett? Mr. Alawi? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 8 yes, 0 no, that will be sent. Our next resolution is 2500. Motion on the floor for passing, amended the first word to send passes for support. Supported by the councilwoman in the second ward. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, this is the vote to send 250092 to council.
Ms. Burns? Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett? Mr. Alawi? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 1 no.
Vote is 7 yes, 1 no, that will be sent to council. The next resolution is 250097, reallocation of ARPA funds, water and drain stabilization fund. What is the pleasure of the body? It's been moved by the councilman in the second ward, supported by the councilman in the first ward, to send to council. Is there any discussion? Yes. Go ahead. Okay. Is Mr. Moore? Mr. Moore.
So here's my, so the 2 million, I was absent, when last time it was here. Yeah, okay. I had an emergency with my mother. So this will stabilize it for how long, or if it's a quick fix, how bad is our problem?
We should go get through, fiscal year 2026 and probably into 2027, so far, we don't, I'm not sure that we'll get through 2027, at least, getting through 2026.
Okay, and then how much, so, and I think residents understand, so if you have $100 water bill, how will this affect them? I mean, are they looking at $5 a month, $20 a month?
If you look at it's average across all the different, rate classes, when, the bigger users obviously use more water than the residential users. But for the average customer, it would be $5 to $7 a month that would have to raise it, depending on some of the assumptions.
Okay, so it was between, so it'll be an additional $5 to $7 per month for water.
If you did,
If we increase it. So the increase was supposed to happen back in 5, 6 years ago.
there have been a number of the
They
water
said
fund.
about 30%.
Yeah, the water fund hasn't been, making money for some time, but we're still solvent, and it's just a question of, at some point, we are gonna have to raise the water rates. And this will stabilize, so we have a chance to figure out how we wanna raise the water rates, and when we wanna do it. We won't have to look to 2026, which is what we're trying to achieve.
So the water fund is supposed to collect about $5 million a month.
I'll- They, we have, we've done a cash flow analysis of what we expect, the fund to, need during the year, which is soon that we collect revenue, and we also spend the money. And we do know that, with this, that we will get through 2026. And we'll be in, 2027 before we really have to do anything.
Okay, so what I'm asking you, one more time, maybe we need to get back to it. So where we're at, we should be about 45 million collected, so we have that.
I don't think we have that, if you're asking if we have 45 million in the bank, I don't think we have that in the bank right now. We have about 18 million in the bank.
Hey, are we all, actually, I so this report, I'm gonna get out there right there, there's no hands. We have, how much, this time we have had a test for the city, and how much of our water are we losing? It's over 50%.
Oh, I'm not sure, I've not dealt with that side of things.
That's why I need Mr. Miller here. And because, you know, those are questions. And so I don't know if you know, and I've got more. And now, that's fine. So, this, you know, can you give me those answers?
Yeah,
So let's just actually make it $10 million, we need to register our water. It actually tells you right here.
right.
And it should be able to tell how much is our water loss, how much are we losing.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Go ahead.
Just so you know, Mr. Moore, I'm eligible on this one, we based on the $5 to $7, what are you estimating the average bill to be?
That's what I talked about. I talked about it as, I know that $2 million is what we're estimating what we need. I've averaged that based on.
How much do we pay Cleveland? It's $11 million, I'll answer that for you, because I'm gonna. It's $11 million, but over $5 million goes to the debt service. So for actual water, we only spend $5 million. So 5.9% of that $5 million is $372,000. That is what we are being charged additional. So how does 2 million equate to 372,000 actual charges?
The water fund has not had a rate increase since.
We're not talking about that. I'm asking you, how does $2 million only last 1 year if the increase is only $372,000?
It's more than just water, it's overall cost that increased in the last 10 years.
Oh, so that's, you're breaking news, Mr. Miller, because according to everything, we are only facing a rate increase because Cleveland is charging us now. Are you saying on the record that we have to increase all the costs across the board?
I'm not saying we have, I'm just saying they have increased or.
No, what I'm saying is, so this $2 million isn't for just the Cleveland increase, we need to, pay for other things, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that our cost for operating the system has increased over the last 10 years.
The cost for everything is
For everything, yes.
I get that, so how much is going for the other things and how much is going for Cleveland? Because by you putting this into a fund and trying to not be transparent, how are these dollars being spent?
My fund, I would find out to talk about an account over the water fund.
So, and I asked you this last time, why are you creating a fund and not just doing a budget transfer to the water department?
It makes it or corporal, budget transfer would work just as well. I don't have a problem with it. It could be either, we were trying to make sure that people saw how the money was being used, but if you prefer just transfer, that also works.
So why was the fund even brought up?
It was just a way to make,
Because to my recollection, this is the first time that we started a fund, in my tenure on the seat, where we started a fund out of the blue instead of doing a budget transfer.
it would be the way it would work is going fund, if something set up as a fund, it'd be basically a line item in the water fund.
Okay,
So that,
Mr. Moore, can you give me a breakdown of how this $2 million is going to be spent?
it'll be spent for the general expenses of the system, including water and including all other expenses.
It's pretty general. I would like a written breakdown of how much is going to be allocated to Greenwood, how much is going to be, some of this money going into sewer.
No,
So, once again, if half of our water bill is sewer and half is water, how is the average rate increase $7? You can't say that the average is over $200 because if all water is increasing and none of this money is for sewer, how are you coming up with $5 to $7 increase? That would assume that the average bill is $200.
I'm not sure I understand how you calculate that, because if you look at the number, if you look at the number of customers and divide by the 2 million, you're gonna divide that by 12, you're gonna come up with the 5 or 7 a month.
Would be a 15% increase in water?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the water bills are average $100.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Moore, let's try to walk through this. So what we are being asked to do is to set aside $2 million, right? Or transfer, whichever way it's going to get done, $2 million, so that over the next year, the water rates do not increase, because we currently have a 5.9% rate hike that we're looking at. This is not the first rate hike that the city has incurred and not passed on to the residents. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and so when we talk about the $2 million, the water fund so the water, not water fund, but our actual water budget, right?
Right.
It goes to more than just the fixing of the leaks and all that. You have to also pay people out of that budget as well, correct? All right, and so what we have happening now is, while water bills may average, and I don't know which number is right, whether it's the 100 or the 200, the bottom line is, you got a large percentage of people not paying that, correct?
That's correct.
And the other people that are paying it is still not necessarily enough to balance the people that are not paying it, correct?
That's correct.
And so, having a deficit, meaning there's already the money missing to not only cover the cost of what the water costs for us to get it, but then also to cover the cost of all of the people that have to keep up a system and also pay for that system. That is also at a deficit, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so when we're talking $2 million, we're talking $2 million to cover what we are already missing, correct? Because that's going to take care of that. Is that what we're talking right now, correct? So that $2 million, it is going to cover the people that are already not going to pay you that extra 5 to 7 anyway, correct?
Correct.
And then it's also going to cover to go toward any leaks or any people that's got to go out there and fix the leaks, anything else that has to happen as it relates to water, correct?
Correct.
So what we're doing with $2 million is we're sustaining ourselves at a rate that we already had to sustain ourselves at, because again, the money that we need to collect, we are not able to collect, correct?
Right.
Okay, I yield.
Thank you. Anyone else in the first round? Go ahead.
All right, so just wanted to read a few things. So the first thing is, every single council member, we have been receiving feedback from our residents We've been receiving feedback via Facebook, we've been receiving feedback in person, cell phone, email, and someone wrote a letter and they sent it to every single council person and reads as follows. Flint City Council members, why don't you care about the residents of Flint? Isn't that your job? Flint, Michigan residents pay more than double and sometimes triple the amount of water than other cities in the U.S., which makes no sense if Michigan has the most freshwater resources surrounding it. So why do you intend to raise our water bill in Flint? We are paying far too much already. Sincerely, Ms. Ruleski. And so the sentiment that I get from Ms. Ruleski is that she don't want her water bill raised. She made it real plain. And so with this water stability fund, does exactly what my colleague in the seventh ward said. It picks up the slack from those that have not paid and probably don't intend to pay. And it also helps to cover this increase that has been voted on outside of our hands, right?
Right.
Right. And so on behalf of Ms. Betsy Berlinski, the residents of the second ward, I would be remiss not to vote for this because, again, you're right. We do pay a lot of money for water. And I know I don't want to pay a penny more. And so we have ARPA dollars. As I stated previous time on record, these ARPA dollars must be spent by December 2026. And these ARPA dollars were brought forth by the federal government for issues just like this. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So the money is there. They say do something good for the residents. Residents like Ms. Berlinski, they're speaking out. Everyone having. Hopefully, people are not ignoring it. We all made a commitment that we're going to be responsible to the residents. Well, Ms. Betty Berlinski, I'm going to start off by saying I definitely support doing what we have to do because this is part of what we have to do. And it's also, our charge to see how we can be a part of the solution. So, again, we want to do something great for the residents, and we want to make sure that we are taking care of the city's business, whether or not we were on council when the decision was made to be a part of this contract, that bears no weight. Right now, it is our responsibility to act and to plan going forward. So I definitely support this because this is what the money was allocated for, and the money must be allocated by 2026. The residents said they want it, and I'm really give residents what they want. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, I'm gonna take my time. Isn't it true, Mr. Moore, that we have to pay by a set amount of gallons from Gliwa every month?
I believe there's a base, but I don't know.
Doesn't matter how much we use, we have to purchase a set amount. And, so that increases the cost.
Yes.
And isn't it true that there are people using water who have cemented their shut-off valves so that we can't turn off water to the house?
That's very true, yes.
So they're using water and not paying for it because we can't shut it off.
That's correct.
And then there are people that do not pay. 81% of the residents of the city pay their bills. 19% do not. Is that correct?
Yes,
So the 81% who pay their bill are paying for everybody.
that's correct.
Now, last year, when we were in the dome, I remember saying that at some point, we're gonna have to raise these water rates. I remember when council approved the contract with Gliwa, they were told that we were gonna have to increase water rates down the line. 10 years is a long time. I remember we've had to have change orders for chemicals for the water plant because the price has gone up.
That's correct.
So our costs have gone up and we have been supporting those residents who don't pay their bill. Maybe if the residents paid their bill, we wouldn't have to even be looking at this right now. But here we are. Of course, I have a problem with the garbage contract too, which I brought up too. But I know last month my water bill was higher. I just looked it up, I actually used one more unit of water. But I know so many people who pay shut-off notice to shut-off notice to shut-off notice. And it'll get even harder for them if we raise the rates. So in 10 years, our prices, we don't know what the price was at the beginning, we don't know what it was when the contract was signed with Leo, right?
Right.
At least we don't have that available right now. And what it is now, and what the difference is, and the fact that we have shrunk the number of households using the water, but we still have to buy a set amount of water. We also supply water to places that don't necessarily pay us because, well, give us cash because the city's using water. The city uses the water for fires, for board, right? And City Hall and all facilities owned by the city, all community centers. So it's not just the residents who have to put the bill, but they're the ones who provide the cash to the residents and businesses within the city to pay the bill for legal. What happens if we don't pay our bill?
Oh, that's bad. They believe what takes over our system. They run it, they set the rates, they do everything.
So somebody who doesn't live here will have control over our entire water system.
That's correct.
Thank you very much. Any discussion in the second round? Go ahead.
So, Mr. Moore, I will not support this one. If you want to provide a breakdown of how these dollars are to be spent, and then do a, transfer to the water fund, that would give you more in line, but putting $2 million into the fund, or we don't know how it's to be spent, that's a hard number.
We'll go down to transfer if you prefer. That's,
I would prefer transfer, I would prefer a breakdown of how the dollars are to be spent, because, the press conferences and everything else, all my colleagues are saying all these other different things, but the press conferences and the articles that are quoted are only specific that residents are only going to get an increase because of the 5.9% increase for legal. If there are other things that we need money for, let's be transparent on why we need those dollars. Let's put it out there that people aren't paying their bills and some of this money's gonna go to that. But just to throw $2 million and say, it's only to cover this 5.9% increase, to me, that is deceiving the public. So if you can provide a breakdown and change this to a budget transfer to the water fund, I think that I would have a more, the pill more able to swallow. Okay. But just throwing 2,000 into a fund that doesn't have restrictions, that the enterprise fund water does, that to me is fishing. So, on this current, the way it says, I'm still no, but hopefully I've communicated to you, how we can take this forward. Thank you.
Any other discussion in the second round? Go ahead.
So, Mr. Moore, how many, as a part of our, we have the water distribution plan, we even adherent to any of that? I know Mr. Miller didn't.
are we here today, Mr. Yes, we are.
So are we doing $6 million worth of water main repairs a year?
I'll probably defer to others for that, but we are budgeting for that, yes. Well, expect, hopefully, Mr. Edwards would know that better than I would, but yes, they are important. Mr. Edwards would probably know that better than I would.
He is ready. That's, you know, that's probably the DPW director, with, you know, that. But he's doing the role of the DPW director. Mr. Miller, where's Mr. Miller? I don't know Mr. Miller, yeah. Does anybody know? You Madam Chair, provide that. Mr. Edwards? So here's another thing, so let's go back to walking down. So our storm and water is not out. So, he's almost here. I wanna talk about enterprise funds and how it's that we're not gonna have enough time, because this is a problem that actually requires more time. Mr. Evans, how are you? How long is Mr. Miller, is he gonna be out?
Unknown.
Okay.
He has not given a date.
Okay, because I've got questions for him, and obviously I'm not telling you, but these are questions that are specific to him. I wish him well, I just was have to wait till he can get back to answer these.
You can send the questions you have to me, and then I'll try to find out.
So how do you say that? You want me to?
Yeah, just email me the questions that you have, and I'll get with the staff.
What's the turnaround?
By the next committee meeting, probably. By the next committee meeting. If you send them to me,
Okay.
yep, I'll have answers probably by the next committee meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Because I know I don't want to, Mr. Moore, I don't want to give you questions, I know he needs to, that's why I asked where was he at. So, thank you.
Any other discussion in the second round?
Go ahead.
I have a question. Mr. Moore,